How will they perform here against the 8th-ranked team in the country? Louis Sakanoko gets us started from the service line. First set goes to George Bruning on the opposite position. It's dug up. Adrian Rohr against 3 blockers. Bruning is able to scoop that. And then the push dink to Treesky in there as the starting oppo here for the Rainbow Warriors.
Should be interesting to see how he keeps up to his comments earlier this week where he said its competition is healthy at the oppo spot. Kainoa and I are having a great time.
Well, Louis Sakanoko had that one go right through his hands. Dylan Pilkvist, the 6'7" freshman middle from El Segundo, California. A little jump float that was tricky for Louis. Louis Sakanoko had just 1 service reception error the entire weekend last week against Long Beach State. As Adrian Rohr gets dug up along the back line by Ethan Saint. High ball goes to Guy. Roll shot right there is Clinton Greenidge on the save. D set to Treesky, blocked and roofed. And it was Riggs Guy jumping up next to Josh Oruya. Well, the name of this game for UC Santa Barbara, it is defense.
No question about it. Kept him alive there, like a great back row dig, and then a fine block at the front. Not known for great blocking, but their back row defense exceptional.
So Gauchos score the first 3 points of the match. That one pops straight up in the air by Greenidge. Off the playing surface is Rosenthal. Sets up to Treesky, and he breaks the ice for Hawaii. Christian Treesky, the 6'8" sophomore swinger from Sofia, Bulgaria. 3.8 kills per set, hitting .346 on the year, and has reclaimed that starting opposite hitting position as Cole Schobel, as he is wont to do, turns on 2 and just hammers it down. Would you believe that he is a guy averaging almost a full kill per set as a setter? Rick McLaughlin in year 18 atop this Santa Barbara program. He has been there and done that in the realm of coaching. Outside, and Rohr got blocked and then taps it over. So Gauchos on the attack. They go back row. That's Saint dug up over the net. It'll be claimed in that deep corner by the libero Joe Wallace. D-set goes to Bruning. How about to Treesky with the pop-up? Sakanoko goes to his fellow countryman Adrian Rohr. 2-hand save there, Wallace. Quick reset for Guy. That tip shot snipped out by Tetreski. Outside Rohr, the full swing. And he caught it flush.
I like the way Rohr was patient. He didn't have just the set he wanted the first time around, but when it got recycled and he got his second chance, he unloaded with the perfect set.
Adrian Rohr, the 6'5" sophomore from Lyon, France, 17th in the country in hitting percentage. And that's Guy getting under that one. Was there a touch? No touch. And so Hawaii back within a point here. Rainbow Warriors hit .349 last weekend in that series against Long Beach State. As you take a look at Charlie Wade, he has a win away from yet another 20-win campaign. It would be the 8th in the tenure of head coach Charlie Wade. Here's Bruning, blocked and roofed. Tetreski jumping up next to Justin Todd, saying, and we're knotted at 4.
So the Rainbow Roofing Company has checked in.
They have punched in for their shift here on a Friday night. Hawaii averaging 2.5 blocks per set this season. Here's Guy. Block slowed him down there. The save by Rosenthal. High ball set goes to Tetreski. And it ends up staying on the Hawaii side. Rosenthal goes back row, and Louis, with a little bit of extra sauce behind it, puts Hawaii in front.
Louis picking up right where he left off last week. He hit this big last week against Long Beach State almost perfectly. He had a phenomenal weekend, except for night 1 when he cramped.
Yeah, also got a red card on night 1.
That's right.
First of his life, he said, in his volleyball career. Bruning, 3 blockers up, and Rosenthal and Greenidge, look out. They go sliding into one another. They check on each other to make sure that everything's still attached, and it looks like they're okay.
It looked like they hit heads there in the beginning, but apparently not.
Well, the trifecta was once again accomplished here by Hawaii in Big West Conference Weekly Awards. You had Louis Sakanoko, in addition to being ABCA National Player of the Week, was Big West Offensive Player of the Week. Tread Rosenthal got setter of the week for the 8th time this year, 13th in his career, and Quentin Greenwich for the 3rd time got defensive player of the week. There he is on a perfect pass, and Justin Todd hovering high above the twine, able to rattle it off the hands and down.
I'll tell you, night 2 at Long Beach, Louis Sakanoko might have gotten 15 kills and played phenomenally. Quentin Greenwich was the real hero with his passing. It was unbelievable, just like he did just then.
Against the toughest serving team in the country in Long Beach State. Long Beach State went into that weekend averaging 2.5 aces per set. Hawaii held them to 1.1 aces per set, which is a monstrous accomplishment against a team like that. Another good pass there by Greenwich. Backside to Treesky. And just too overpowering there. Ethan Saint was trying to confront Treesky there above the tape. But another kill for Christian. How is the Hawaii offensive attack slightly different when it's Christian Treesky on that right side as opposed to when it's Kainoa Wade?
Well, he just hits the ball hard. I mean, really, really hard. He punishes blocks as opposed to trying to work around them. He'll go over and he will just hit at them. And the block really has a tough time stopping it. They'll either block it out of bounds, or they'll block it on Hawaii's side, or they'll block it out of bounds on their own side. In either case, his power is what's the difference.
And George Bruning tickled the tape there on the serve. Rosenthal shoots it out to Sakanoko. And Louis still percolating. He's got 2 kills on 2 swings.
He told me before the match, he said, we are not going to overlook these guys. They are good.
Well, Louis was very open and candid about the fact that he was disappointed in the way he played against UCLA during the Outrigger Invitational weekend. Back row, that's a guy, and goes off of the platform of Adrian War and into the seats. But Sakanoko saying, I think what happened, and this could be something that infiltrated the entire team, or at least a lot of them, was there was so much buildup to that UCLA match, sold out crowd, all of that. You had the wonky weather surrounding that tournament, that he felt like maybe we played a little tight. And he said it was something we made a point of to not be so tight when they went to the beach. Oh boy, nothing tight about that swing. Jordan just crushes it.
There's a guy who touches 12-4. Remember, the antenna is 11 feet, so he's almost a 1.5 feet above the antenna when he contacts that ball.
Hitting .473 on the season, 6'10" sophomore from Mesa, Arizona. Here's Sakanoko. And over on 2 goes Schobel. You gotta watch out for Cole Schobel. You have to account for it. This is a guy who himself is a 2-time Big West Conference setter of the week this season. But he can think very offensively.
It's been his first year in Chicago. I think they beat Hawaii that year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he actually had 37 assists, 9 digs in a match against Hawaii in January of 24. Treesky obliterates that set. That one's gonna be ringing in the hands of Riggs Guy for a few extra moments.
Stinging. Stinging the hands.
10 serving 9. Competitive opening frame as expected. Outside, Guy blocked and roofed. That was Justin Todd who got the gist of it, jumping up next to Tread Rosenthal.
That ball was set pretty quickly to the outside. Justin Todd had to get on his track shoes to get out there and close the block. He can hustle out there and get the block.
Schobel going to go outside. Guy was one-on-one with Rosenthal there. And Rosenthal, who has a team best 10 solo blocks this season, was unable to keep that one in bounds, but sort of grabbing at one of the digits there after the fact.
Dislocated and popped it back in.
No scientist, but I think that fingers on a setter are
kind of important. Yeah.
Oh, wow, what a serve, Cole Schobel. Another thing that he brings to the table. He's the team leader in not just assists, but aces as well as digs. That's his 29th ace of the year.
When was the last time you saw a setter lead the team in aces and digs? Probably never. I can't recall any time ever.
Great serve. Overpass by War, and Arroyo deposits it. Josh Arroyo, 6'9" junior from Mission Viejo, California. Freakishly athletic. Had 7 kills, 9 attempts in a Tuesday match that UC Santa Barbara played against Cal Lutheran.
And he's got 8 siblings. What if they play backyard volleyball? 4-on-4, 5-on-4.
Middle said that's Todd. He got under it. And so UC Santa Barbara stringing together a hitting percentage. Either way you slice it, Hawaii at the top nationally in hitting percentage.
What a great pass from Greenwich.
Chasing that second touch with Schobel. 3 pass coming over the net. Can Hawaii take advantage? Here's to Treesky. Oh, that was smoking. And that breaks a 4-point run there by UC Santa Barbara.
It was a good timeout call by Charlie Wade. Santa Barbara was starting down on a little momentum run, and Charlie saw that. He didn't want to wait for the media timeout.
Here's Rosenthal. That's going to get Santa Barbara out of system. Bruning from off the net, blocked and roofed. Oh, that was sealed up. 6 hands across for the Bows.
Adrian Rohr might have gotten most of that when he was over, coming from the left side and helping out. Yeah, I think he did.
Third block here in set 1 for Hawaii, and we're even Steven again. 13 all. Number 13, Fred Rosenthal on the serve. Middle set, Arroyo. I mean, that is the kind of play that draws oohs and ahs even from the opposing fan base.
Arroyo, one of 6 players on this team to come from Balboa Bay Club, by the way, trained by the likes of Andy Reid. Club founded by the great Charlie Brown.
Balboa Bay, basically a farm system, seemingly, for UC Santa Barbara volleyball.
We saw 6 guys from the same club playing for a Division I team. Very, very rare.
Here's Adrian Rohr to serve. 23 aces for him on the season. Loops it over. Pass by Guy is a good one. Hawaii out hitting, out blocking, out digging UC Santa Barbara so far in this first set, but still trailing by a point. UCSB a little cleaner in the serve and serve receiving department at the moment. Pump set goes to Louis, and he's able to split a double block. And we're tied at 15.
Gauchos just kind of hang in there with their defense. Throw a block in there once in a while. They got a couple aces already on Sakanoko. But Louis makes him pay there.
Hawaii hitting 444. Louis Sakanoko 3 for 3. 3 kills on 3 attempts. Here's Finn Kearney from the service line into the twine. That's service error number 3 for the Rainbow Warriors.
Rare for him. He's usually Mr. Steady. He gets that first one in. And then he might miss the second, but usually always gets that first one in. He's very consistent that way.
And so George Bruning, 6'10", redshirt sophomore from Newport Beach, California, with the jump serve. Pass a little tight to the net. One hand set up for Jordan and a one-hand dig by Wallace. Here's Saint, slaps it past the block. Outside, Louis, that one tight to the net. And Louis Sakanoko still able to make it work. And just another small taste of the kind of creativity that comes with Louis Sakanoko.
A little bit of a mismatch there, too. 6'5" Sakanoko up against Schobel, who's only 6'1".
Yeah, Schobel is easy to overlook.
Yeah.
Right? He's not nearly as physically imposing, say, as the setter on the other side in Fred Rosenthal, who looks like a character out of a comic book or something. But make no mistake, do not underestimate Cole Schobel. He plays the game as well as anybody.
And he passes close to the net. He's in the front row. He's going to bang away. Fun to watch.
Yeah, Charlie Wade referring to these 2 setters as the 2 best, in his opinion, in the Big West Conference. Disek goes to Tatrisky. What an up there by Wallace. Bruning from the back row in the cutty. Past the diving attempt by Christian Tatrisky, and UCSB goes up 2. That was a heck of a dig by Joe Wallace.
Little left-handed pop-up. Kept it alive, and Bruning finishes the deal. Good swing.
So 18 serving 16. Ethan Saint on the serve. That'll pull Rosenthal off of the net. Goes high and away. Sakanoko the tip. Diving save by Bruning. Oh, but the wall is formed as Travell Jordan and Fred Rosenthal combine forces to send it back to the kitchen.
Nice block, looking extra sharp tonight. Not many holes in the block. middle blockers are getting out to the pins and closing the block well.
That's 4 blocks here in set 1 for Hawaii. Sakanoko, the looping serve. Back row. Petrisky with the save. Bump set to Roar. He goes off the fingertips. Saved along the back line by Saint. Schobel on 2. Net slowed it down. Petrisky, the falling save. Roar off the hands. How about Bruning playing some defense? Schobel from his knees. Cross-court hit is dug up by Roar. Sakanoko goes back to Adrian. Through the hands. Bruning with the save. Bump set cross-court. Bruning from behind the line. And the Gauchos win a marathon rally.
Oh, a great bump set from Joe Wallace that time. Right on the money from Bruning. At 6'10", he is a big oppo with a big swing.
How about big 6'10" George Bruning with 4 digs here in set 1?
Yeah, he's filling up the stat line.
Dylan Pilkvist, tricky jump floater down the line, handled that time by Louis. Here's Roar, and did not get a touch, hits it out. Adrian Roar right now, C-Mac, 1 kill on 10 swings. He's flatlining it with that hitting error.
Yeah, he's struggling right now. I'm surprised Charlie doesn't call a second timeout here. I thought the Gauchos get too far ahead.
20 serving 17. Two-hand pass there, Greenwich. D set to Treesky. Took something off of it. Back row, that Saint tried to go the near side angle on the cut shot, but missed it wide, and Hawaii gets a freebie. And here's Kainoa Wade. So here's another thing that is introduced with Christian Tetrisky being the starting oppo, is now Charlie Wade has Finn Kearney and Kainoa Wade to work with as serving subs. 2 really good serving subs, 2 of the best in America, I think. Schobel going to go outside. Guy, the tip, popped up by Rosenthal, but nobody had his back. Riggs Guy in the book now for his 4th kill, 11 attempts. And here's Cole Schobel. Fancies himself a bit of a closer in sets from behind the service line. Pass by Sakanoko. D set to Treesky. Blasts it, but it's dug up back over the net. Middle set, Todd. That's blocked. Stays on the Hawaii side. Rosenthal swinging on 2. That's blocked by Aruya. Rosenthal again on 2. And that time it would not be returned. And now a bit of a warning and hand gesture in the direction of Fred Rosenthal from head referee Bert Fuller, as Rosenthal, a little extra talking after the fact. He played with the Aruya in the under-19 days, I think. So they know each other well. There's a little chirping going on. Yeah, a lot of these guys very familiar with one another. Back set, tip shot, easy sniff out there by Greenwich. Back row, Louis, his 2-hand tip drops. Oh, but it's going to be a violation, as they're going to say that Louis crossed the middle line. This is a very similar play to what led to the red card that was issued to Louis Sakanoko when he very vehemently argued his point with the officials up at Long Beach. Take a look and see if he goes under and if he's near anybody when he goes under. He is near somebody right there. It's a pretty clear rule that if you go under and you're near somebody and there's a possibility of danger there, clearly there is, then it's a violation. Good call by the refs. So 22 serving 19. Pass by Sakanoko. Set goes outside to Treesky, hitting from the left. And that's kill number 5 for Christian Tetrisky. Tetrisky picking up right where he was last weekend when he started to get really sharp after such a long layoff. January 14th, you know, that's a long time to lay off. Oh, and Adrian Roar serves it just wrong, missed by maybe 3 or 4 inches at best. So Santa Barbara closing in here. A team that comes in 11-7. They're 2-1 in the Big West Conference. Well rested, you have to say. They played Tuesday against Cal Lutheran, but they had a bye weekend last week. Backside to Treesky. Off the block and out. Treesky once again is pounding the block
Not a whole lot of strategy, just pounding as hard as he can. 6 kills now, hitting 455. He is Hawaii's offense right now, along with Sakanoko, who's got 4 kills.
How about Christian Tatriski also with 5 digs? These Oppos acting like they're wearing the libero jersey. Justin Todd deals an ace out of the deck, and Hawaii needed that as they closed it within 1. Outside, that is dug up nicely, one-hand style by Roar. Here's Louis off of the hands, and it'll be played back by the Gauchos. Joe Wallace, the libero, sets up Bruning. Cross court, there's Rosenthal with the up. So Roar sets up Louis. Did he get a touch? Yes, he did. And we are all square at 23.
Louis took a mighty swing that time and just barely got a fingertip, I think, but it was clearly called by the line official.
Yeah, you saw Bruning actually look back towards Coach McLaughlin and said, yeah, I got it. Don't challenge. Todd, 23 all. Another incredible serve. Some filth from Justin Todd, and it is aloha ball for Hawaii in the first.
There aren't many middle blockers in this country who are as adept at serving as Justin Todd. This guy delivers aces week in and week out, and in all kinds of ways, too. He's got the little cutty shot, soft cross court in area 1 or area 2, and then sometimes he just rips it down the middle.
Well, the Gauchos are going to try to ice him here. 2 aces in this run for Justin Todd. That gives him 22 on the season, and you're right. We've seen it a few times, that little cut serve, and if he places it like he did there and just dots it along that sideline, good luck.
It's really, and he was serving against Joe Wallace, a really good passer, the libero for the other side. Normally, the liberos are a little bit more nimble, they're quicker, and they can get to those kind of short serves, but that was a really tough serve.
Born in Jacksonville, Florida, of course, grew up in Houston, Texas, before moving out here for his final year of high school at Moanalua. And now Justin Todd, a redshirt sophomore for the Rainbow Warriors. Ryan Kalei-Suji has more on JT. Ryan.
Yeah, that's right. And to expand a little bit more, that's exactly the serve that head coach Charlie Wake likes to see out of Justin Todd. He says that's his best serve, when he's able to expand the real estate of the court, going from area 1 to area 1. Allowing Justin Todd the ability to hit one corner of the court all the way to the other. It's the biggest runway, and he says when JT gets a hold of that, it is his best serves that he has in his arsenal. For the Santa Barbara Gauchos, on their sideline, their coaches are very optimistic. They say we played a great game thus far. They're very pleased with the defensive strategy that they're going against this Hawaii team in the digs and the block touches. They say we just have to shore things up and finish out this set. Back over to you guys.
And another thing Justin Todd's very proud of is he's the first Division I player to come out of his Houston volleyball club where he learned how to play. So I know he wants to shout out to all his Houston buddies.
Yeah, Houston Volleyball Academy.
Yeah.
Certainly one of the proudest alums. And he has served Hawaii into a set point situation. They have scored 4 in a row. Aloha ball amid the Viking clap. That one tickles the net, and it's another race. Are you serious? Justin Todd with the service run. Overall, coming off of a 3-1 home win against Division III Cal Lutheran. And this is a long, entangled history between these two programs. How about this being the 103rd meeting all time?
It's only the second team most playing, except for Long Beach State.
That's right. Back row, here's Sakanoko, little roll shot. And Louis got 6 kills on 9 attempts. Last week, he was just phenomenal, C-Mac. He averaged 3.8 kills per set, hit .571 for the 2-match series against Long Beach. He committed 3 hitting errors on 35 attempts.
Amazing. And he was one of the ones who said that he wanted redemption from that UCLA series, for sure.
He certainly got it. D said this is Bruning, and he goes off of the hands of Adrian Roar and out. George Bruning, you figure he is still just scratching the surface of what he is going to be able to become in the sport of volleyball as an oppo hitter.
Exactly. Rick McLaughlin described him as a little gangly and yet to fill out. Watch him when he gets stronger. Just as, just as redshirt sophomore.
3.8 kills per set and 264 on the year. Tatriski tried to patty cake that one, almost got roofed. Back row, that's Saint blocked back. Now Bruning with the big wind up. The block slowed it down. The dig by Rosenthal. So Greenwich pump set more. Off the high hand, it'll be played by Schobel. Wallace high balls it to Bruning. 2 blockers against him, and he sends it out. Was there a touch? No touch. Bruning, convinced that there was a touch, is asking his head coach to issue a challenge. And so we will have our first official challenge.
I thought there was a touch. I'm surprised it wasn't called, because it was right next to Bert Fuller, our R1.
Yeah, very experienced R1, Bert Fuller. You have Randy Rubinall across the way on the floor, the R2. Line judges, Kevin Chun and Kerwin Stenstrom. So Randy Rubinall will be performing the replay challenge reviews. So very basic, very simple, touch or no touch. Let's see, we have a good angle here.
Yep. Looked like the pointer finger. Right there, the pointer finger gets bent back, I think. That's what I'm going to call. That's my call.
Yeah, it's not a bad angle we have. Pat Garcia, our handheld camera operator.
He's been around a long time. He knows when to go point his camera in the right direction.
He takes great pride in seeing some of his camera angles helping to be the deciding factors in some of these challenges. Yeah, there's Pat.
That's right.
Hey, make no mistake, that dude, he works really hard, as do the rest of our crew members. But working the handheld for a 3+ hour volleyball match, that's not easy for anybody.
Looks like Rubinall's called it. Let's see if we can see it from this angle.
Yeah, this could be a good angle as well. Oh, yeah, I think you're right. Maybe that index or just a piece of that middle finger there.
Yep.
For Jordan.
Yep. Travell Jordan just jumps too high.
Yeah. And he knows if he got a piece. Hoping to maybe get away with one here. But it is correctly overruled. Touch is called. Bruning flashes a smile through the net at Travell Jordan. And UC Santa Barbara gets the point. Coach Bruning with the kill there. He had 21 kills. Hit 514 against Cal Lutheran on Tuesday. Here's Schobel. And that one stays on the Santa Barbara side. Service error gives Hawaii its second point. We're tied at 2 apiece. Pass there by Wallace. Schobel sets up Guy, and a little push dink off of Sakanoko's forearm and down. And Santa Barbara with the point.
Smart play by Riggs Guy that time. Just set wasn't where he wanted to attack it, but he knew that he didn't want to go up and hammer it against that block. He'd come back faster than he hit it.
Here's Riggs Guy on the serve. Greenwich pops it straight up in the air. That one rose up near the rafters. A wrist away shot by Sakonoko, dug up by Wallace. Long run for Schobel, bump set at Saint. And Greenwich there on the save. Middle set Jordan, it'll be pinballed around. And Bruning will free pass it over. Backside to Tatriski, through the block and down, and Hawaii gets the point. You heard the reaction from the crowd. They thought that that second touch by Riggs Guy was, I guess, dare we say, questionable.
It was a very deep dish, we call it. Even he knows he might have got away with one there.
Good vibe right now on the Terraflex between these two teams. Here's Aruya. The push dink was slowed down by Todd. Outside, Louis. Down the line, and Schobel there on the up. Bruning, 3 blockers waiting. He gets blocked. Now Bruning goes cross court. Saint, the block was late, but it still gets the job done. Christian Tatriski jumping up next to Justin Todd, and hugs all around on the Hawaii side.
Yeah, Hawaii's block looks better tonight than I've seen it all season. Look at Todd hustle over there and close that block. They're a little bit far off the net, but they got lucky and made it over. Nice pass by Wallace.
How about that back set to Bruning? And he gets it home. Cole Schobel going against the grain. Had to contort his body impressively to get that set off. Tied at 4. You may notice here, and we certainly noticed it, and I imagine the people who are here inside the building noticed it when they walked in, but we have referenced the lights here in the arena throughout the season, and they have gradually been adding new bulbs and new lights above. Well, all of the lights have come in, and they have all now been installed, and let's just say it is as bright as you've ever seen this building inside Banco Arena at Stan Sheriff Center. One hand save there. Aruya results in a free pass over the net. Big advantage here for Hawaii. Rosenthal back set himself to Tatriski. Layout cover there by Rosenthal. And now a free pass going the other way. Gaucho's on the attack. Schobel back row. And Guy able to just plug it past Justin Todd and down. So another kill for Riggs Guy. But yeah, what do you think about the lighting? An adjustment maybe for especially the Hawaii players?
Yeah, I think that they like it. I think that I know Santa Barbara liked it when they came. They said, "Wow, these are the best lights we've seen all year." So a little bit controversial maybe to start with, but I think in the long run, it's going to be a good look.
Yeah, Charlie Wade saying they probably don't consider volleyball all that much when they put these lights in. Probably more for the other court sports.
Yeah.
Specifically basketball. Outside here's Sakanoko, the big wind-up. Guy digs it up over the net, and Tatriski barely left his feet and just snap wrists it down for his easiest kill of the evening. But yeah, Charlie Wade saying, I don't think they consider volleyball too much, you know, with all the time that our players have to spend looking up at the ceiling.
That's right. And the other court sports basically looking straight ahead.
Oh, what a layout pass by Wallace. Oh, that quick middle set was left-handed over by Pilkvist. Now Saint down the line. Tried to avoid the block, but avoided it a little too much. Missed the court. And the hitting error gives Hawaii the lead, 6-5. And now Christian Tatriski will take a moment to relace the shoes.
I don't do this anymore, by the way. You see the slippers?
Oh, really?
For Skechers. And I'm not being paid by them to say that. But I just step in, step out.
You're a slip-in guy now.
Yeah. I come over to the dark side.
Outside, and how about that block by Rosenthal, but it stays off the ground. Sent over, Hawaii on the attack. Todd hammers it home.
There's another guy who touches 12-4 when he gets up. So when a 6'11" guy is setting a guy who's touching 12-4, it's a pretty easy window to set. And the ball's not traveling too far either. Not much room for error.
Yeah, that transfer taking place up in the stratosphere somewhere. 7 serving 5, and it skips off the tape. Long run for Schobel. And it is hit out. A freshly inserted Ben Pearson enters the match to provide a spark. That time caught it a little underneath the volleyball there. Sends it out, and Hawaii up 3. Ben Pearson, 6'2" redshirt junior from Santa Cruz, California. Pound for pound, according to Rick McLaughlin, the best volleyball player on the team was Tatriski with the service error.
Pearson also, when he was in high school, had one game where he had 54 kills. 54. It took 12 games for you to get that when you were in high school. Just kidding.
54 kills.
Yeah. Amazing.
Wow. Oh, what a serve. Bruning. 10 aces on the year coming in. George with his first ace of tonight's festivities.
That just took it. Went off a cliff, as you say.
So 2 service aces now for Santa Barbara. That one goes down the line. Setup goes to Tatriski. And he is just in a groove. 9 kills on 16 attempts, just 1 error.
Yeah. He's getting a lot of sets now, too. You notice he's got 15 of the 48 sets have gone to Tetrisky. 12 sets have gone to Sakanoko.
Sakanoko with the serve. It's an overpass. It's an ace as it hit the antenna. And Louis Sakanoko getting in on the serving fun. And Hawaii back up 3.
I've never seen Louis serve. For some reason, I think back to his opening night against Emmanuel.
9 aces.
Just dropped in from France and served up 9 aces.
Yeah, tied a UH single match record that night.
Amazing.
And it was all thunder and lightning. As Shobo, a little thunder and lightning hitting on 2. Sakanoko runs out of room. Quentin Greenwich victimized that time. But you're right. Charlie Wade has talked at length about Louis Sakanoko and his ability now to incorporate the changeup, so to speak, in his service repertoire.
Yeah. At least Hawaii had 2 blockers up on Shobo that time rather than no blockers.
8 serving 10. Pass by War. He gets the set on the outside. Blasts it off the hands and out. Adrian War going to try to get going here. That's his 2nd kill. He was flatlining it prior to that attempt.
Slow start for Adrian.
And yet Hawaii still hitting 340 for the match. 429 here so far in set 2.
Hawaii can ill afford to have their pin hitters take a night off.
Pass by Wallace is a beauty. And the middle set guided past the block there by Dylan Hilkvist. Has a twin brother, Ryan, who is also on the roster, but he's out injured. They're both middle blockers. True freshman out of El Segundo High School of the Bay League. He was the Big West Freshman of the Week earlier this month. 9 serving 11. Into the net it goes. A pretty youthful UC Santa Barbara roster.
Yes. Yeah, the future is bright for this Gaucho team. You know, last year I think they were going 5th into the tournament. Rick McLaughlin said he got a great recruiting class. He's got another one coming up, and he really feels good about the future.
Big time out of system here for Santa Barbara. Two-handed tip, punched up in the air by War. Here's Tetrisky, goes with the left hand. Did he get the touch? They're going to say he didn't. Christian Tetrisky feels like he did. And so they're going to review this as Charlie Wade will issue a challenge. Tetrisky deciding to go with the left side.
There's a little bit of Sakanoko in there.
He was very adamant that he did get a touch. Do you see a touch here?
Yep, right there.
That index finger.
Index finger.
That left hand of Riggs Guy.
Riggs Guy, yep, you got it. Should be a quick decision here by Randy Rubinall.
They actually have, they talk about how Randy Rubinall has not just the Spectrum Sports production cameras and angles to work with, but also the DV Sports System cameras, and they have a net cam that is on that side of the net. So you would hope and perhaps assume that that static camera could get a good glimpse of this. See if we can see. This is a little bit from the other end of the floor here. Maybe not conclusive with Aruya also jumping up. What do you think?
I like the other angle better. But yeah, you can still see the fingers move there. Definitely was a touch.
We are contractually obligated as sports broadcasters to remind everyone that in order to reverse a call, you have to have conclusive evidence.
Yes. And I think this is pretty conclusive, to be honest with you.
Is that a touch? That one a little blurry.
But as I've said before, if you've got astigmatism, it's very clear. I happen to have astigmatism. It's clear to me.
Yeah. So if you're at home and you were watching that replay and you thought that was crystal clear, hey, I got a suggestion for you. It might be time to go see the optometrist.
That's right. Oh, looks like Mr. Rubinall is using DVS and our cameras as well. We'll
Did we see anything that can lead to a reversal of the call? Oh no. Call is upheld. Wade displeased.
Not right.
So 10 serving 12, and it's Cole Schobel. He can be an equalizer from the service line. Took a little something off that time. Rolling past Sakamoko. Here's to Treesky. He took a little something off the swing. Bruning. Oh, he's able to line it up, time it up, and splits the uprights of the resistance. So UCSB right back within one. So a pretty large and looming non-reversal in that replay challenge session.
Exactly. Great set there from Joe Wallace that time from the back row.
Schobel ramping up the velo on that one. Set goes to Jordan, and he paintbrushed it, but he got the job done. Looks the same in the box score. Another kill for him, and Hawaii up 2.
Yeah, I'm agree with Ryan Suji, who before this match in Game On, the pregame show we have, he said, I think Hawaii's got to set the middle more often. They've got to get more well-rounded offense.
Adrian Rohr, that looked a little like Justin Todd's, as he was able to get his own ace, but yeah, kind of that same spot, a little bit of movement, a lot of spin.
We call it 1-to-1, area 1 to area 1.
And Hawaii now with a multitude of aces, and they add to it out of the timeout. And Adrian Rohr with his own hat trick. 1, 2, 3 in a row.
Reminiscent of Justin Todd at the end of set 1, in case you missed it.
That is the 7th service ace for Hawaii. Another brilliant serve, brilliant layout pass by Guy, and then Aruya able to get the touch. And a much needed side out and point for UC Santa Barbara. Josh Aruya, I mean, you just see the gifts and the talents that this guy has. Another guy who is still developing, but Rick McLaughlin said every day he does something in the gym that just wows you. That serve pretty wowing as well. Riggs Guy delivers on his 16th ace of the season.
He just tattoos that one in the seam there between Rohr and Greenwich.
So the 4th service ace for the Gauchos. That one right at Greenwich. He pops it up. Backside set goes to Tatrisky. Too hot to handle for Bruning. And Christian Tatrisky gets to double figures. 10 kills to go along with 3 blocks and 7 digs.
Christian Tatrisky just goes up and he just hammers cross-court, little cutback across the body. But you know what's interesting about him is that he does have a pretty wide range. He can hit that line really hard. He's also got the cross-court.
Pancake pass there that time by Pearson on the layout, but the roof is up. Ah, ole. Say not 1, not 2, but 3 Rainbow Warrior blockers.
Hawaii with 6 blocks to Santa Barbara's 1. That's kind of a big difference between these two teams right now. 3 blockers up, too.
Here's Bruning, and he's able to touch it softly off the block and down.
Bruning's been their offense this set. He's got 5 kills now in 7 tries, no errors.
So Christian Tatrisky leading everybody, though, with 10 kills. It's his 10th double-figure kill match this season.
He was a guy who was off for much of the season from January 14th to the middle of March. Didn't play.
Yeah, was dealing with some injury issues. And then, of course, Kainoa Wade was playing at such a high level, was a AVCA National Player of the Week himself earlier in the year. Here's Bruning, 3 blockers up, and he tried to avoid it, and he hit it into the twine. And so Hawaii gets the point. We have an argument, though, from Rick McLaughlin. He's got a few choice words for Randy Rubinall.
They're claiming there was a net violation. Watch the Hawaii blockers on the way down. The ball does not hit the ground. I think the ball goes into the players. Let's see if it hits anybody on Hawaii's side. Yeah, so the ball hits the net goes into Hawaii. It wasn't like Hawaii was the one who was the aggressor and hitting the cable or getting caught up in the net. But rule's the rule. If you hit the net before the ball's down, it's going to be a net violation.
Yeah,
you watch this go
that
against
seems
Hawaii.
foul. That seems foul from the Hawaii perspective.
And I think it's going to go against Hawaii. We'll see.
So another challenge here from Rick McLaughlin.
Instead of 19-14, it's going to be 18-15. A very different score.
So a busy set here for Randy Rubinall. Getting some help from Mike Goshima. And seeing all of the relevant angles. Hawaii hitting 368 here in set 2 compared to 217 for Rick McLaughlin's club.
Remember we said at the beginning of the telecast, one of the keys of the night for Santa Barbara was to ramp up their offense, which is at the bottom of the league right now, hitting 255. Tonight, as you said, they're hitting 204 on the night, 217 in this set.
And so they review it, and the call is going to stand, and Rick McLaughlin's going to stand as well and walk over to Randy Rubinall to engage in more dialogue.
It looks like everything just kind of evens out. Even Steven, like Seinfeld used to say. Lose $20, you find $20 in your pocket.
Hawaii up a handful, middle set. That one bounced off of the Terraflex by Pilkvist. And a beautiful set delivery that time by Cole Schobel.
That was, wasn't it? That was just on a line, on a rope. Fast, tough for the Hawaii blockers to get up in time.
Here's Bruning. Pass by Rohr. That pulls Rosenthal off the net a bit, but goes outside. It's tipped there by Sakanoko. Schobel down to his knees again. Two-hand tip by Pearson, sniffed out. On to Rosenthal. Calling his own number and putting Hawaii up 20-15.
Ingram, the block, knew that he was going to hit it. I think they got at least one blocker up. We'll see. Two blockers up. He just goes over and down the line, finds the right spot, open court. What a shot by Trev.
You see what he's done in Big West Conference matches so far. Schobel on two, goes off the hands and out. Oh, Rosenthal was anticipating it, but Schobel wins that battle.
Is this going to be a setting hitter battle? What's going on here?
Schobel with 3 kills, Rosenthal with 2, in case you're wondering. What a pass there by Louis. D set to Treesky off the block. Rosenthal the cover. It ends up being a set for Ward, but he gets dug up over the net by Schobel. From behind the line is to Treesky. That goes off of the head of one of the Gaucho blockers. And we're going to have a call against UCSB. And so Schobel is arguing, hey, look, I can return it back to my side as long as it's outside of the pin. Now we're going to have a discussion, it appears, between Bert Fuller and Randy Rubinall. Maybe that was an early whistle, possibly, because it did look like Schobel got there and that his volley back onto the UCSB side was legal. Schobel, one of 3 team captains for UC Santa Barbara, along with George Bruning and Ben Longo. What do you make of that one?
I don't understand that one because I thought the ball passed outside the antenna, so it can be brought back to Santa Barbara side outside the antenna.
Kainoa Wade in and back to serve. And also going off of the forehead of Pilkvist, so he pays a little extra toll here on that play. Huh. You see Cole Schobel, he was confused as well. I think he felt like he had executed that correctly.
Yeah.
21 serving 16. Pass by Pearson. Behind the head, middle set goes to Pilkfist, dug up by Louis. Joust above the net. Schobel taps it over. Hawaii on the attack. Rosenthal behind the head, middle to Jordan. And these two setters engaging in a bit of a match within the match of can you top this?
It really is that. I totally agree, Kanoa. And that's why Charlie Wade earlier this week called these two the best two setters in the league.
Flattened out a little bit on Wade. Misses long, but Hawaii still sitting at the moment comfortably up 22-17.
If they're not the best two setters in the league, they're the most entertaining of all the setters in the league, maybe. We'll put it that way.
Here's Pilkfist.
Got the jump fault that provided all kinds of problems for Sakanoko.
Handles it that time. Middle set Jordan. Oh, he came flying in, but by the time he made contact, the ball was a little behind him, and so he misses the floor wide. Travell Jordan with his first hitting error of the evening.
Surprised Louis handling the ball with his hands. He's got that broken, pinky on his left hand.
That time uses the platform. Outside, it's War. Goes up the elevator shaft and is able to hang it off of that block and out.
War picking up only his third kill of the night. We're getting nearing the end of the second set. Normally by this time he's got 6 or 7 or 8 kills.
So Rosenthal will try it again from the service line. That is a nasty serve. Great layout pass by Guy. Over the shoulder swing, slowed down by the block. So Hawaii in transition. Behind the line, it's Sakanoko. And Louis able to get it past the resistance for his 7th kill. It is aloha ball in set 2 for the Rainbow Warriors.
Louis has really come of age. Making very mature decisions when he's attacking, and his passing has really been good tonight.
He's hitting .429 tonight. Middle set, Aruya hanging and banging, but missing the floor wide, and Hawaii takes set. Save by Tatriski. There he is again. Schobel on 2. That one will not be returned, but Christian Tatriski, give him the libero jersey already.
Leading the team in digs by almost double. Get onto that one? Yeah, he did get onto that one. By the way, of all of the skill sets, that might be his weakest, his defense. Tonight he's putting on a show, though.
Double performance for Christian Tatriski. 11 kills, 10 digs as Adrian War sends that one into the net. And Adrian War, who hit for fairly uncharacteristic percentages in Long Beach. Right now he's at .067 here tonight with 3 kills. Just not quite functioning in the same level of calibration that we're used to.
Yeah, but he's mostly staying on the court, though, because of his passing, obviously, and his defense.
This serve drifts long, and so Hawaii on the board here in set 3. Here's Guy, cross court. Was there a touch? No touch. And so the hitting error gives the point to Hawaii. We mentioned this is the 103rd all-time meeting between these two teams. Hawaii leading the series 64-38. If you recall, though, it was in the regular season finale in Santa Barbara last year where the Gauchos actually had the last laugh in last year's series. As Roar goes off the block, it'll be played back. Middle set Aruya, the tip. Todd with the touch and then the pickup. Back row Sakanoko. And just too much pop behind that swing.
Louis might be better from the back row than he is in the front. I'm not sure. We got to get some stats on that, but it's a field goal there. But man, he's been really special offensively the last couple weeks.
He said that's Bruning. That's dug up there by Rosenthal. Tatriski chasing it down. Back bump set cross court will result in a free pass. Schobel on 2. And he gets the touch. That is his 6th kill.
Is he the number 2 attacker right now?
He's the number 2 kills leader here for UC Santa Barbara. He has the 4th most kills of anybody on the floor right now.
He is something special, isn't he?
He's serving 3. Net slowed that one down, made it a little easier for Louis. Here's Todd laying the smackdown.
Justin Todd, the service line, 3 aces tonight. And from the attack line, kill number 3.
Four serving 3. Aruya, and he missed it. Just kind of caught it off center, spun it out of bounds, and Hawaii up 2 here. Santa Barbara, they're going to have to assert themselves if they're going to extend this match down 0-2.
Really trying to avoid a well-formed Hawaii block there.
Schobel going to go backside. Guy, a little too hot to handle there for Louis Sakanoko. But yeah, you remember that regular season finale match. It was at Santa Barbara. It was senior night for the Gauchos. And so Rick McLaughlin decided this was a Gaucho team that at that time had only won 2 Big West matches. He said, you know, we're going to start all the seniors. They had 6 of them, including a former Hawaii setter, Jack Walmer, who was a senior setter last year. They also had opposite hitter Jess Bianchi, who provided all kinds of problems for Hawaii during his Santa Barbara career. But he decided to just roll with the seniors. A lot of them were more reserve or bench players, hadn't played much. And I guess somehow the fuse was lit and they came out like gangbusters, and they would end up beating Hawaii in 3 sets.
Charlie called it. The guys that have been playing much all year were foaming at the mouth when they got this way.
That's right, foaming at the mouth. That was the term he used. That's hilarious. Yeah, the UCSB hit 364 in that match. Good dig there by Greenwich. Backside roar against the double block, and it gets picked up. It stays off of the floor, and then it is put down for a Hawaii kill. Everyone on the Gauchos side standing around celebrating what they thought was a point, and Rick McLaughlin immediately challenges. And you could tell he's a pretty stoic guy on the bench. Doesn't show a lot of emotion, but you can tell that he's feeling a bit of frustration at some of these calls.
Yeah. We'll see if this one's obvious or not. Here's the block.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
it bounced
ball's
on
down.
the Terraflex, yeah.
That ball's down. Should be a quick challenge review.
Yeah. The wheel's always turning with Rick McLaughlin, a very cerebral coach, right?
Yeah. A great player in high school. He played at Loyola High School in Los Angeles. Won a couple of CIF championships. Went to Santa Barbara.
So very quick reach for the paddle to challenge that call, and a correct challenge there on the part of Rick McLaughlin. He succeeds, and UCSB gets the point, and so things flip as UCSB now with the 6-5 lead.
McLaughlin, LMU, 4 years setter there. Low Mammal.
Serve goes into the twine. And so we're tied here at 6 in set 3.
Well, there's a program that should be still alive, in my opinion, as well as San Diego State. And those two, I think, could be in there. And Big Ten could have a couple of teams that could be really good.
Backside, this is Bruning. One hand saved by Tread. Here's to Treesky. 3 blockers waiting on his knees. The dig there by Riggs Guy. High and away. Saint is dug up. One hand set outside. Louis on the joust. Kept alive by Greenwich. Knuckled over by Rosenthal. And it's going to be a back row attacker violation called against Hawaii. And so the point goes to UC Santa Barbara. And now Tread Rosenthal arguing his point to Bert Fuller.
I think he hit his hand, yeah.
Fred may be arguing that that was still on the Hawaii side. That winds up on the Hawaii side because Ethan Saint goes solo stuff on Christian Tatriski. That echoed throughout the building.
This was one great block. Ethan Saint all by himself out there. Puts it straight down.
Prepped at Santa Margarita Catholic. However, Oruya serves it into the string, and so Hawaii back within one. Well, what happened to the offense here? You have UC Santa Barbara hitting 133. Hawaii right now, CMAC, negative 167 in the third.
Neither team putting up great numbers.
And that is something that UC Santa Barbara is known for. They are best in the Big West in opponent hitting percentage. And that is because of their ability to keep the ball off the floor. They're tops in the league in digs, get a lot of touches, even if their blocking numbers aren't astronomically high. But they are last in the Big West in hitting percentage, assists, and points. But they make up for it in other ways. Here's Sakanoko. 9 kills here for Louis, so he's on the verge of reaching double figures. He has just one hitting error, so whatever was helping work in his favor in Long Beach, it made the trip back on the flight home.
Ever since the UCLA match, he's been on a path, a war path.
Here's Saint. He found a path through that block right in front of Greenwich for the kill. Well, you are a guy who is very studied in the idea of reframing and of being in the correct mindset when in competitive environments. And so for Louis to be talking about, you know, very candidly feeling maybe like they played tightly against UCLA and how they needed to inject a little bit more spirit and fun. How real is that? How effective can that be?
I think it's really effective. It's just really hard to do, to have guys turn the switch and all of a sudden from being real negative to being positive. It's not easy. It's like an art form. And Louis clearly has enjoyed playing the game and having joy playing it.
Guy against a triple block, able to find that deep corner. And UCSB up 2.
Even Tatriski said in his interview this week that he was having more fun playing the game, and he thinks that that's why they played so well, especially on night number 2 when they swept Long Beach State. They were all having fun. They were smiling in between points, even when the bad things were happening. They found a way to move on to the next point quickly.
Well, they're going to be moving on to the next point quickly after that. Riggs guy got all of that against Travell Jordan. And the Gauchos are up 3 here. And they have found a bit of a rhythm once again here in the third.
First set, Charlie called timeout at this point when the Gauchos got up 3. This time choosing to wait till the media timeout at 15.
He's going to bring Finn Kearney in to serve. Again, that dynamic now of Charlie Wade being able to call upon Finn Kearney and Kainoa Wade as serving subs here solidifies certainly that dynamic of the game. Kearney made sure he got it in that time. Schobel goes D-set. Bruning able to deposit it.
Schobel jumped that time, took Justin Todd with him. So all alone out there on the outside was Danger and Roar. Not a fair fight there. Schobel Bruning will win that battle every time.
And 9 kills for Bruning, hitting 227. Here's Schobel from the service line, hits it out. We'll see if Hawaii can find a little traction here, trailing by 2. This is not dissimilar to what we saw, at least on the scoreboard in set 1. Hawaii was hitting for a much higher percentage in that first frame, though. And that's a big difference. They would end up winning the first 25-23, scoring the last 5 of that set. Great service run by Justin Todd. Riggs guy just absolutely obliterates that set. He's got 9 kills now. The 6'3" sophomore from Newport Beach, California, played in the U21 Pan Am Games in Calgary, won gold, was with his teammate Josh Aruya, and a smattering of Hawaii guys on that roster as well.
Exactly. And Riggs Guy made the all-freshman team last year for the Big West. And his dad was an all-American tennis player at UCSB.
Yeah, Riggs Guy making the all-freshman team despite missing the last 2 weeks due to injury. Pretty impressive stuff. Here's Aruya. That was well executed, and so UCSB, that block is getting all kinds of touches up front for UCSB. Got a touch there on Todd, but he's able to get it home for a kill, and Hawaii back within 2. But yeah, they are zeroing in a little bit more on Christian Tetrisky and these Hawaii pin hitters.
They're pretty much making sure they get 2 people on Tetrisky every time.
And now Kainoa Wade in to serve. 13 serving 15, set 3. Hawaii up 2-0. Outside, set a little low, but somehow making it work is Ethan Saint. He goes with the 2-hand technique and is able to beat the block.
Counts as a kill. Nevertheless, even though it was only traveling a half mile per hour.
Here's Grooming. Pass by War on the money. Middle set, Jordan, and the block is up again. Dylan Piltfist turning it back. And this block has come alive here for the Gauchos in the 3rd frame.
They got it all going on right now. Piltfist leads them in total blocks for the year, 50 total blocks in the year. He's catching on to Hawaii's offense.
He's going to drift over the net. Oh, but unable to handle it was Piltfist. Oh, he came up with a fantastic roof mere moments ago, but that one just caught him off guard. UCSB had 1 block through 2 sets. They have 4 blocks as a team here in this 3rd frame. Tetrisky with the serve. Long run for Schobel. Sets up Saint by the triple block. And Ethan Saint is getting hot.
How did he do that? 6 hands across, and he found a way either around or over them. Not sure, but that was a great swing.
You saw Louis Sakanoko and the other Hawaii blockers sort of looking at each other in confusion, like, wait, how did we not seal this up? Right between Jordan and Sakanoko.
Rick McLaughlin calls Saint maybe their best athlete, all-around athlete. He showed why there. And he also gave a lot of credit that time to the bump set of Schobel that gave Saint a chance.
Brother Ashton also on the roster. So 2 sets of brothers on this UCSB team. Here's Tetrisky. Little hop behind the line, and it stays on the Hawaii side. Another block for the Gauchos. Their 5th of the 3rd, and they are up by a handful here as we get 19 serving 14. Hawaii has lost its way a little bit here in the 3rd. UC Santa Barbara has found a groove, conversely speaking, and that set to Sakanoko allows him to deliver a much-needed side-out and point for the Rainbows.
And Louis gets into double figures in kills tonight. Nice little push dink.
And he will serve. Oh, he unloaded there, forces an overpass. Rosenthal out to Roar, and he rips it. And a little life here for Hawaii on back-to-back sequences.
That was like a French sandwich, wasn't it?
With a whole lot of hot sauce.
Yeah.
The French Connection started and ended that sequence. Schobel can go outside. That's Guy dug up by War. Tetrisky, cross-court bump set. War able to nudge it past that antenna and over the net. It's tipped over. Greenwich sniffs it out. Rosenthal slaps it to Roar. Another tough angle. Gets it over. Schobel on 2, calls his own number. And bodies laying out all over the Terraflex on the Hawaii side.
That was a bit of a disjointed rally. Characteristically ended by Fred Rosenthal having to set that last one with his fist.
Cole Schobel now with 7 kills and no errors. He's hitting .778. He's the setter.
He may be leading them in kills before the night's over. He's only 2 behind Bruning and Riggs Guy.
He's pretty unbelievable. UCSB preseason pick to finish 4th in the Big West Conference. Actually, in the preseason poll voting, they were tied for 4th.
In the nation, they were picked for 17th. Now they're up to number 8.
Rosenthal going to go D-set to Treesky, and the block is up again. Oh, this Gaucho front has been dialed in here in the third. Riggs Guy all over that Christian Tetrisky offering.
Charlie Wade has one more timeout to use. I guess he's not going to use it yet.
21 serving 16. That's 6 blocks in the set for the Gauchos. Oh, the communication way off. Sakanoko didn't appear to be looking for a set there. And now it is a 6-point advantage here for UCSB, largest lead.
So Trent Rosenthal shake his thumb there. I think that left thumb is still bothering him from the block he had earlier.
Sakanoko at the last moment with the pass. Outside War, they need it, and he gets it. So what has happened here to Hawaii in this third frame, in your opinion?
I think it's more been what Santa Barbara's been doing. Like as you said, their block is really good. They're blocking, what, 5 times as much as they did the first 2 sets. And their offense is better. Good combination.
Gaucho's out of system, but they set up Bruning. 3 blockers up for Hawaii. And they record their first block of set 3. They still have quite the uphill climb here. Still trailing by 4, 18 serving 22.
Well-formed block there. Bruning, it's right into the teeth of that block.
D-set Bruning. Block slowed it down. Rosenthal D-set to Treesky. And that time he would not be denied. And he sort of looks up to the heavens as if making perhaps a few tweaks and adjustments along the way, but Hawaii scoring the last 3, back to within 3. Outside, this is Guy, got blocked back. Bruning high ball bump set, and a free pass coming over. Can Hawaii inch even closer? Rosenthal outside, War. Oh, dug up nicely by Saint. Bruning will get a swing out of it, skips it off the hands. 2-hand save Sakanoko. Oh, Rosenthal tried to go on 2. Saint with another up. Here's Bruning again. Dug up by Louis. Rosenthal with options. Out to War. 2-hand save Guy off the block. D-set Bruning gets it by the block. And the Gauchos win a lengthy one again.
That was a great rally. Terrific digs on both sides of the net.
And that's double figures for Bruning, 10 kills. That was a hard-earned point for the Gauchos. Now 2 points away from extending this match, avoiding the sweep, and taking a little momentum with them as well into set 4 if they can close this out.
This is a typical Gaucho game where they just keep the ball alive. They play terrific back row defense. Now they got the front court going as well. So a good combination for Rick McLaughlin.
Yeah, a vintage Rick McLaughlin type of defensive squad. Rosenthal outside, War blocked back, recovered there by Tetrisky. War a second time, the block slowed it down, the save there by Saint. Guy. Oh, that set was a little low. He didn't have a whole lot of angle to work with, and yet he still sent a laser to the opposite corner. And Charlie Wade going to signal for a timeout. Aloha ball for UCSB in the third.
Riggs Guy reaching double figures now. 10 kills, as you said. That's set very low, but Guy, very athletic. He knew how to get his feet to the ball and hammer away. Great shot.
All right, well, while we have a break break in the action. Let's check in with Ryan. What's up?
Hey, thanks, Kunal. Well, one of the reasons why Santa Barbara has really turned around in the blocking department can be a lot of attributed to their assistant coach, Randy Deweese, the first-team All-American, former Gaucho, who was a setter turned opposite, has been really leading the timeouts and strategizing with his blockers about this Hawaii hitting tendency, talking to his middle blockers about their footwork, also talking to their pin hitters about tracking some of Hawaii's more successful hitters. This is a player who's spent a lot of time at Santa Barbara, had a lot of success playing in multiple positions, really sharing his knowledge of the game and sharing his blocking tips to his players right now in this set. Back over to you guys.
Yeah, Randy Deweese, Jonah Safe, couple of recent additions to this coaching staff. Deweese was part of that 2021 Big West Championship team. And he was an absolute force.
Yeah, he was really good. You know where Safe is this weekend? He's not on the bench, is he? He's on his honeymoon.
Yeah. Congratulations. Lane Nielsen, the associate head coach for this UC SB squad. And they're a point away from pushing it to a fourth frame. And they have looked like the much sharper team here in set 3. Rosenthal outside the war, and he goes off the block and out. Hawaii gets the point. So Christian Tetrisky building on a double-double performance. He has 13 kills, a career-high 11 digs to go along with 4 blocks. And we'll see if that's a sign of things to come here, getting that opening point for Hawaii. Good hand pass there, Wallace. Here's Aruya levitating and then annihilating. We're tied at 1.
Yeah, the Santa Barbara team is fired up at him when they went off the court at the end of set 3. They were all celebrating as if they won the match.
Down the line, and that is called out. From our angle in real time, I'll be honest with you, C-Mac, I thought that was in, and I think we're going to get a challenge here by Rick McLaughlin. But my eyes could be playing tricks on me. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's awfully close.
It's more out than in. But you know what? Bert Fuller, the number R1 referee, he's looking at it just the same way as the linesman. Fuller thought it was in. He could have overruled the linesman, but he agreed with the linesman on that. So that's not a good sign for a Santa Barbara challenge.
Yeah, is it catching any part of that sideline? And that's why I don't wear the gray or blue shirts. I just sit over here and look at the replays next to you.
It's much easier, much more fun. Yeah, I think it's all, the ball's out. That one's hard to tell there.
Well, while we review this and have a little pause in the action, just want to give a shout out to a couple of huge UH volleyball fans who are watching here on Spectrum Sports. Ohavai and Naomi Manuel. I just want to say aloha to them, and thanks for supporting the Rainbow Warriors.
How about aloha to all those who've been suffering through that 2 rainstorms and then a third one in Manoa, Nuuanu.
Yeah. How are you guys? You live in Manoa. How's the McLaughlin home?
We got flooded, but it's nothing like what the North Shore went through, so I'm not going to complain about that at all. But I'm telling you, it's what the North Shore's had to go through has been pretty devastating.
Yeah, we were talking with Chad Giesman, member of the coaching staff for Hawaii, of course, member of Honolulu Police Department, and he says that they have sent a big unit out to Haleiwa and other parts of the North Shore to just help create a perimeter, guide certain lanes in and out to help with the cleanup effort. He says it's gotten a lot better. You see the aloha from the community. That is something that is certainly remarkable and commendable. But we do absolutely great sentiment there, CMAC. Send our best thoughts out to all of those who were impacted by that nasty set of storms that came through. We'll be telling you as well here shortly about a way that the University of Hawaii football program is also setting up to try to help those victims of the heavy rains and floods. So the call is upheld. Hawaii up 2-1. punching save by Louis. Diving set there by Rosenthal. And Roar finds the open floor, and that was pretty dynamic.
3 of the better plays by Hawaii tonight, those 3 touches. First with the dig, then with the back bump set, and finally the nice, there's the dig by Louis, the back bump set by Rosenthal, and then Roar just lifting it down there to area 1 for the kill.
So Hawaii up 2. Back set, it's Bruning off the block and down. So George Bruning, that's the guy they're turning to here when they need a point. It's been Bruning or Riggs' guy. And right now, Cole Schobel, his main target is the big bruising George Bruning. And Aruya serves it long. Quentin Greenwich, as if he was in a dodgeball match, just getting out of the way.
You know, people don't give enough credit to liberos like that get out of the way. He just got his team a point. You know, so that there's certain athleticism, how to get out of the way, and then you have great vision on knowing where you are on the court.
Yeah, that spatial awareness. Here's Bruning going over the block. Was there a touch? No touch. Goes well out beyond the end line. And Hawaii up 3, 5 serving 2. Adrian Roar back there. Hawaii took set 1 25-23. They took set 2 in demonstrative fashion 25-18, but UCSB turning it around in the 3rd. And right there it is Ethan Saint. He had to hover a few extra nanoseconds there and blast it off of the hands. Ethan Saint's been impressive.
Schobel did a nice job of getting him a one-on-one situation. Schobel does it almost every time for his hitter, especially when he's a front row player, and Schobel is now front left, so watch for him to be an attacker in these next 3 rotations.
There's Bruning on the serve. And pops straight up in the air. Greenwich is going to set Sakanoko against the triple block. Bruning the diving save. Schobel on 2, and he misses the court wide. He is human. The first hitting error for Cole Schobel. And Justin Todd will serve for Hawaii. Oh, we're going to have a challenge here.
Net violation by Hawaii.
So hold the phone. Maybe Cole Schobel will still be able to avoid the hitting error.
I'll tell you, Cole is
oh, yeah, there it is.
Pilkvist is the one who called it.
Yeah, I think you saw that forearm there by Louis Sakanoko. Getting just a piece of the top cable.
Yep.
And you see him telling his teammates, my bad.
Instead of being 6'3", Hawaii, it's going to be 5'4", Hawaii.
Another successful challenge here by Rick McLaughlin. And you can see the extreme excitement from succeeding in that challenge.
He should at least give himself a pat on the back for a successful challenge. Although Pilkvist is the one who really caught it.
Ethan Saint now back there to serve. Oh, hold on. Now it is George Bruning serving. So working the kinks out here in the rotation. They're even messing with the PA announcer, Ben Kia-Aina, who announced 3 different servers. 4 serving 5. Bruning with an ace. Oh, that thing fell off a table right in front of Quentin Greenwich, and we are all square at 5 apiece.
Cole Bruning has really come into his own on his serve. He's got a good top spin, got a nice arm swing. His toss has been pretty steady and consistent. No surprise he gets points for the Gauchos when he's back there.
That time, Greenwich handles the serve. Outside, Louis up the ladder and down to shoot. He is so explosive.
And again, I just feel like he's in redemption mode ever since the loss to UCLA. He's become another player.
Still top 15 nationally in hitting percentage. As a left side pin hitter, that's remarkable. Back row, this is Guy blocking roof. And look who's in the thick of things. The guy who always steadies the ship, Ofek Hazan.
Mr. Consistency. He was waiting for that Bic. He didn't go for the middle attacker. He waited for the Bic hitter. Nice patience.
What a luxury to be able to turn to a guy like that when things are just getting a little wonky out there, and he'll just, he'll just give you solid play. Is he going to blow your mind? Is he going to bounce one to the rafters? Probably not, but he'll make plays out there that'll help your team. Pass by War. Back set goes to Tatriski, and he misses wide. So that's now the 6th hitting error for Christian Tatriski. And we're tied at 7 here. Ethan Saint averaging just under 3 kills per set here this season. With the serve, Rosenthal goes out to Louis. Roll shot, bounces in front of Bruning. And that's a little bit of the growth of Louis Sakanoko right there.
Absolutely. Back in the day, I think he would have just swung as hard as he could and hope for the best. Now, he's very precise and methodical about how he chooses his shots.
ABCA National Player of the Week now with 12 kills. Here's Guy, cross court and down with a little bit of thunder. Riggs Guy, Rick McLaughlin says he can be our rock from time to time. He says the only thing that remains here for Riggs Guy is just to be able to achieve that level of play on a more consistent basis. But you see all the foundational tools.
Absolutely. Picked up his 11th kill there.
Just a sophomore. That pass over the net, joust up there. Arulia pops it up. It's going to be a free pass coming over. First touch, Greenwich. Rosenthal, middle set, Hazan. There he is.
I'll tell you this, they don't have that much film on Hazan, so therefore, I'm not sure they have his hitting tendencies as much.
See what he's done this season, hitting .446. 35 blocks total coming in, and it's an ace by Sakanoko. He caught a piece of Riggs Guy, and Hawaii up 2.
Riggs Guy's a good athlete, and I bet he's a good dodgeball player too, but this ball arrives so fast, even Guy can't get out of the way.
I mean, that was a missile. And then he pulls the string, diving past Guy. D-set, Bruning, off the hands and down. And that was some nectar put up on the assist there by Cole Schobel.
Bruning now goes to the front row. So he'll no longer hit that D-set. He'll get hit inside that 3-meter line where he may be more dangerous.
And now you got to deal with this guy's serve. Oh, the net slowed it down, made it easier for War. D-set to Tatriski, cross court and in.
Overruled by R1, Bert Fuller.
Line judge called in. R1 calls out. And are we going to get a challenge from Charlie Wade? Yes, we are. So the challenge is starting to come fast and furiously here. So this one real simple, in or out.
That's close. That's very close. Ooh.
I mean, that looks like it's on the line.
Yeah. Ooh, that is on the line. Let's call it good from here.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've said this a while, just to speed these matches up. They should just give you a gray shirt, and when there is a challenge, everyone just turn and look at you, and you make the signal.
I'll make a quick ruling.
That's right. Yeah, that's an in ball, right?
Yep, absolutely. Now, this is where it gets funky morale-wise, or morality-wise. Is the R2 now going to overrule the R1?
Who overruled the line judge?
Yeah.
It's a successful challenge for Charlie. And so Christian Tatriski does indeed get the kill, his 14th of the evening. And Ofek Hazan will serve. It's Hawaii by 2 here, up 2-1. Out of system now, the Gauchos. High ball set, Bruni, 3 blockers waiting. He tips it over. Bump set, here's Roar off of 1 foot, blocked and roofed. And things were disjointed, just kind of a missed opportunity there by Hawaii. And they should have had the distinct advantage.
Absolutely, they should have run a fast attack there. Instead, there's a bump set, and Roar's just trying to scramble to keep the ball in play. Not a good play.
10 serving 11. Greenwich on the pass. Rosenthal surveys, goes out to Roar. The tip, diving save by Saint. High ball Bruning, 2 blockers up. He goes off the block, gets his own cover. Schobel now, outside to Saint, blocked and roofed. Rosenthal says, don't tread on me.
Oh, I like that play on words, Kanoa.
And Dred Rosenthal with his 4th block puts Hawaii back up by 2. Schobel off the net, gonna shoot it out to Saint, and he's able to plug it through the block. And, yeah, just a little too much airspace between Justin Todd and the net that time.
Exactly. He didn't get out there in time, so he just jumped too early. Too much space, as you say, between his hands or his forearms and the net.
And Ethan Saint very much making his presence felt here last couple of sets. Rosenthal goes middle to Todd, and he goes off the hands and out. So Dred Rosenthal trying to get the middles a little bit more involved, with Justin Todd and Ofek Hazan getting a couple of opportunities.
Something with Ryan Suji in the pregame.
Just got over the net. Back set, Bruning. He soared high and far and was able to send that one past the Hawaii block.
He might have gone OTT there over the top. He did.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Great shot.
And he's now back to serve. 12 serving 13. Pass by Greenwich is a beaut. Outside Sakonoko, blocked back, punched up by War. Other end, it's Tatriski, the roll shot, diving save over the net by Joe Wallace. Here's Louis. Oh, he was thinking Hulk smash on that one, but he sends it out.
A rare error from Louis like that. He was just trying too hard.
That's his 4th hitting error tonight, hitting .333. Had just 3 hitting errors in the series at Long Beach State last week. Just a ridiculous performance overall by Louis Sakonoko. Here's Tatriski. Able to rattle it past the hands. He's got 15, and he keeps climbing the kills ladder. And here's Finn Kearney now to serve.
So when Tatriski gets in a groove, gets the right set, it's really hard to stop him. Even if you get 3 blockers up, he's still tough to stop.
Pass there by Wallace. Against the grain, D-set goes to Bruning, he's blocked. Oh, a little deep dish set there, and Saint hits it into the string. Hawaii gets to 15 first in the 4th. The lead is 2. Well, the Warrior football team will deliver all donated items directly to the North Shore and will help with the cleanup effort. So a fantastic gesture there by Timmy Chang and that football program. Here's Schobel. And how about the wrist away swing as he falls to the floor? And then falling to the floor, coming over to try to help Schobel up off the floor was Dylan Pilkvist, and it turned into a little comedy scene.
Oh.
And so they'll take some time to wipe perspiration off of the Terraflex here, but another dynamic play by Cole Schobel. That's in the category of improv. A little improv comedy act routine there.
That was. What if that was choreographed ahead of time? That was pretty cool.
So a tightly contested 4th set. Both teams hitting at the exact number as one another. 8 kills, 4 errors, 235 on 17 attempts. So identical hitting numbers right now in this fourth frame for both teams. Meanwhile, Ethan Saint goes into the net. Hawaii by 2. It's Christian Tatriski having a career night in digs. 12 of those, a double-double performance already. And he will serve. That's a good serve. Schobel, back set, Bruning. Was a little tight to the net. Advantage here, Hawaii. Roar, though, going to have to highball it to Sakanoko. Down the line and wide. He does not get a touch. And another missed opportunity there for Hawaii.
Second time Louis, I think, tried a little bit too hard, tried to do a little bit too much with the ball, rather than take a little more conservative outlook there.
Hawaii with 21 hitting errors here tonight. Hitting .202 for the match. And now Pilkvist. Played by Louis. He'll get the set on the outside. It is dug up over Louis a second time, blocked. Kept alive by Roar. Louis a joust against Aruya, and Hawaii gets the point. But the argument from Rick McLaughlin is that Louis again came under the net across the center line.
I don't think anybody was near, though, when he did it. So McLaughlin sat down right away.
Yeah, he had a few words, but you're right. That was a short-lived argument. But how about Louis winning against Josh Aruya?
Yeah, see, nobody was around where his feet were. So it was, yeah. And by the way, next year in the women's game, they're going to have anything under the line. Your whole foot goes under the line. It's done. That's it.
17 serving 15. Louis unleashes.
I didn't see the gun, the radar gun, to see how fast I was, but it looked to me like it was probably a 70-mile-an-hour heater.
18 serving 15. 3 aces for Sakanoko. 76 miles an hour on that serve, according to the radar gun reading. Here's Sakanoko from the back row, off the block, saved by Bruning. He gets the D set. Cross court, it's dug up by Tatriski. Greenwich trying to get after it, and he spills into the front row seats. And he's checking to make sure everyone's okay over there. That is certainly a precarious situation there. And
Tony Crabb, former...
Yeah, that's Tony Crabb, right?
Former UH men's volleyball coach with Mike Wilton. And I think with Alan Rosehill.
Greenwich giving it the effort. You have to appreciate that, but yeah, Tony Crabb getting dislodged from his seat there. So great to see the players showing the kind of care and affection there in the aftermath, and it looks like Tony's okay, so we're happy to see that as well. As Schobel misses wide after that one ricocheted off of the net. So Hawaii able to get quickly out of the Cole Schobel service rotation. That unto itself is a minor victory.
Absolutely.
And they're up 3 here, 19 serving 16.
Super sub here.
It's Kanoa Wade. Pass going to be tight to the net. One hand set Aruya. Little pitter patter atop the tape. Rosenthal trying to play it off of the block. Schobel from his knees to Guy. His two-hand tip is dug up by Wade. D set to Tatriski. And Hawaii gets to the 20-point. And here we are, Hawaii 5 points away from a finish against UC Santa Barbara. Out of the timeout, they go back row, and Saint explodes on it. And some high cheddar in the direction of Kainoa Wade.
Insane. He's got an arm, doesn't he? He's flying out of the back row in the Bic. 3 blockers up. And Kainoa Wade took the brunt of it.
So 17 serving 20. Here's Riggs Guy. Good pass there by War. Over on 2, Rosenthal. Great reaction by Wallace. Free pass coming over. Rosenthal out to War. Punched up in the air there by Schobel, but unable to center it was Wallace diving into the bench area. And Adrian War, that had to feel pretty good for him. 7th kill of the night.
Exactly. He's been struggling all night long, playing great defense, and he's passing well, but as far as his attacking goes, 7 kills, 5 errors, hitting 0-67. Not a typical Roar night.
But you don't see emotionally much fluctuation there. He is a guy who keeps it steady, at least outwardly. Here's Aruya, had to extend there. Going down and saving it is Rosenthal. Sakonoko to War. And that was a smoke show.
Roar was facing a big block there. 6'9" Aruya, the 6'10" Bruning. That's as big a block as Santa Barbara has. And somehow Roar found a way to hit the high hands there. Got some fingertips.
And Charlie Wade sticking with Adrian War. Of course, he brings so much more to the table than just the pin-hitting aspect of it, but Charlie Wade deciding to stay with him, and he's delivered a couple of times here late. As Tread Rosenthal with the service error.
Let's see if Aruya tries to serve Roar. Or Sakonoko.
18 serving 22. Pass by Sakonoko, and it's going to be an ace. And Santa Barbara closes within 3. Aruya with the ace.
With a jump float, no less. Well, he hits it hard, and the ball's moving a lot, too. Good knuckler.
So they're taking some moments to wipe perspiration off of the Terraflex across the way. 19 serving 22. This Gaucho team doesn't go away. Pass by Greenwich. Outside to Treesky, and he ends up jousting with Bruning, and UCSB gets the point.
Yeah, I think
That's 3. Hawaii was sitting comfortably. Not as comfortable anymore, but out of the timeout, Josh Aruya serves it wide, and that's a biggie. That puts Hawaii at 23. Adrian War back to serve. Hawaii 2 points away from finishing this one.
I think Aruya might have been trying a little bit too hard to get the ball to Sakonoko.
So here's Adrian War. A bit of an up and down overall performance for him. He comes up with a good serve. Wallace with the pass. The set goes outside, and working it off of the block is Ethan Saint. And Ethan Saint now up to 9 kills. He has really asserted himself late in this match. And it's far from over. George Bruning now to serve.
And Schobel in the front as a setter. Oh, by the way, and an attacker. He's only hitting 800 on the night.
Pass by Greenwich. Rosenthal outside. Sakonoko roll shot. There's Bruning again with the dig. Saint blocked. The cover there by Wallace. So Schobel gonna set up Saint. The tip got blocked again. Now Schobel going D-set. Bruning buries it for his 15th kill. And UCSB is within 1.
I credit these Gauchos for fighting back. Their offense is much, much better in sets 3 and 4 for sure. And they're playing their usual great defense.
Crowd trying to rattle Bruning here. A 5-1 run. It's a pass by Sakonoko. He gets the set on the outside. Another dig there by Guy. High ball bump set Saint from well off the net. Oh, that may have been an out ball played by War. Here's to Treesky. Roll shot. Gets sent right back into his grill by Saint. And this set 4 is tied. We're going to get a challenge here from Charlie Wade on what he thinks is a net violation.
I think he thinks that maybe Saint followed through into the cable. We'll see.
Oh, but what was perhaps an out ball on the earlier swing by Saint.
Yeah.
Played in the back row, could have been the 24th point for Hawaii. Let's see if there is a net violation here.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
That was a quick, Randy Rubino made a quick decision there.
Oh, that's huge. Oh, that's massive. The fist pump there by Charlie Wade. And it is aloha ball here in set 4. An announced crowd of 6,831 through the turnstile. 8,258 tickets issued for the match. Justin Todd. Bruning digs it out of the stands. And a free ball coming over. Rosenthal, backside to Treesky. And this match is over. On his season.